Welcome, everyone, to another edition of About the Town. I'm Craig Coughlin, your host. As always, it's a pleasure to be with you. Today, I am joined by Father William Smith, the pastor of St. Anthony's of Padua in Port Reading, and Peter Barcelona, the chairman of the Woodbridge Township We Feed program. Gentlemen, it's a pleasure to have you with us here on About the Town today. Thank you for coming by.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Today, we're going to talk about one of the truly special events in Woodbridge Township. It's just something that is as nice as can be, and that is the 21st annual Friendship Dinner that's held each year at the St. Anthony of Padua. And Father, if you could start off by just give us a little history of the event.
What happened is Bob Sobieski, a member of the parish,
And a Woodbridge Township employee, I might add.
And Jerry Marone, members of the parish, and their spouses, came to the pastor at that time and suggested that they have a dinner on Christmas for people who would be by themselves, homeless. And so they went, and the first time they had it, they had between 30 and 35 people that were fed. The ironic thing was, as they said at that day, that there were more volunteers there than people were fed. Right. But last year, we were honored to feed 250 people. That's
really taken off. Huh?
Yeah, it has.
Now, what's on the menu?
Peter, you're in charge of the kitchen.
The menu this year would be turkey, kielbasa and sauerkraut, 2 types of vegetables, 2 potatoes, stuffing, desserts, pretty much ice cream. So it's a traditional holiday meal.
It's a real feast.
It's a feast. It's a buffet style. I mean, a lot of hospitality. You know, we make people feel welcome. Just want people to come out, enjoy a dinner, enjoy fellowship, and we have entertainment. So it's a nice day for everybody.
What kind of folks are attracted to it? The people, originally it was started for people who were, maybe didn't have anybody in the area to share the holiday with, but it's really kind of taken off from there, right?
Right. We have senior citizens that would be alone, would generally be alone. Maybe their children live far away. We have families that come. We have people that are in situations, we see some years, and other years we don't see them, depending on the time. I mean, we're reaching out to people now that may be affected by the storm and have no place to go for the holidays, so we'd be more than happy to welcome them there.
You mentioned the storm earlier. Father, if you could talk to the impact that has had on the event.
Because Port Reading was hit so bad by Sandy, we were really put beyond the 8 ball because we were just beginning to coordinate things, and that plus our chairman last year, Frank Suffin, passed away, so we didn't have a chairman in place at that time. And so just as the storm was hitting, I called Bob Sobieski, who began it, and said, would you help us? And he jumped in. He says, yeah, I don't want to see loss, because if we couldn't get his help, we didn't know if we would be able to.
So you dragged him out of retirement.
Yeah.
I bet it wasn't hard, was it?
No, he jumped in. He said, yes. He said, be more than happy to help out. He's retired the last couple of years from doing stuff in the background to help us, but not the upfront. But this year he came back, and I really appreciate what he and his family are doing to help us. So that gives us a little more time to plan for next year, but we'll be able to have a dinner. And one of the things that we like about it is that we try and make it a restaurant environment, where people feel that they're coming to someplace special because they're special. Right. Just because their situation may be difficult doesn't mean that they're not special, and we want to make them sure that they know that this day, which is special for us as Catholics and as Christians, we want to make it special for them, whether they have nobody else in their family, people who are homeless, people who may just be by themselves and they don't want to be by themselves. But what we also provide is we also do provide for those who can't come to us. We will provide situations and opportunities where we will bring meals to them. So if there are people who can't come to us, then please call us and let us know, and we will bring a meal to you. Last year we bought almost 80 meals.
Now, and if somebody needs transportation, is that possible?
Yes, transportation is available. As long as they call us by December 21st, so we can have adequate transportation for them at that point. And we would just ask them also if they would call the church office by December 21st.
What number should they call?
732-634-1403. And that's just so we can adequately plan enough food and have enough place settings for everybody at that point. So I mean, they start the meal with, fruit cups, with homemade soup, Then they go into a buffet at that point. So we just want to make sure we have adequate supply of
But
food.
it goes on throughout the day, correct? It's not. Is it one seating?
No, it's one seating. It
Okay.
starts at 12:30.
1:30.
Oh, 1:30.
1:30.
That's right. I'm
And
sorry.
it goes to 1:30 to 3:30, and then Santa will arrive for the kids that are there. There'll be gifts for the kids. So if someone's coming with children, we ask them to call as well.
Right, so Santa can have a heads up on.
Santa
Right.
can have a heads up
Make
for the
sure
gifts
there's
at that
something,
point.
yes.
So
And that would
yes.
be that same number.
Same number.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. And there's entertainment, you said, right?
Yes. Beth Emery from the Woodbridge Concert Choir, she comes and plays, and then we have some people from young children from our parish who also play, who are learning to play instruments. So yeah, so it's a festive day for everybody.
But it's really a nice event, right?
Yes.
It's for, and I suspect, we talked about perhaps people without any family and people who may be homeless and stuff, but there really isn't a pure demographic group. There are people there who probably have a lot of money and people there who have
Right.
no money, but the point is they all get to come together.
Right, and they're not by themselves on
And
Christmas.
so they get to share in that fellowship. Right?
And the thing is, it's free
The
for
spirit.
everyone.
Right.
There's no charge for it.
And no questions asked.
No questions asked.
Right? You don't
Nope.
ask,
Nope.
can you afford anything? Right?
Nope, nope. If they call, they want to be here, they're welcome. You know, one of the things that we say at St. Anthony's is that all are welcome for anything that we have here. And this is the primary example of it, that everybody's welcome. We don't care. It doesn't care if what your religion is, your creed, your ethnic background. It doesn't matter. You're
Right.
welcome. All you have to do is call and let us know.
Now, you mentioned earlier that the first event had more volunteers than participants or recipients in there. How about the volunteers today? How many volunteers do you think you'll have on it?
I think last year we had about 40 volunteers that actually come, and then we have volunteers actually that work the weekend prior to Christmas that do all the prep work at that point. Start cooking the soup. The soup is homemade. The turkeys are roasted. Stuff is prepped ahead of time. So we start on Saturday. This week we'll start on Saturday ahead of time, and then work Sunday, and then prepare the hall on Monday for the dinner on Tuesday. So we work over a series of several days. So we have volunteers, and the parishioners are just fabulous. So I mean, but we have actually volunteers that come as far as Monroe,
Right.
South Plainfield, people that hear about it and want to volunteer, and and sometimes our volunteers actually partake of the meal as well. So which works out well.
It's
for
hard
everybody.
it's hard to smell the turkey cooking forever, not grab a little piece once in a while, right? I mean, now you each have families. You each
Yes.
have other places that you could be and want to be on, on a day that's a very special day. Peter, why do you do this?
My children usually come and work with me at that point. My children have worked beside me throughout the years. My family usually come and help, and my daughter usually leaves and then goes and cooks dinner from there. So when I leave there, we go to her house for dinner at that point. So I usually spend early morning with my family, and then we usually, St. Anthony's, we make it our place for Christmas to give back.
That's
So.
nice. And Father, your family, your mom lives
My mom
in,
lives in Spotswood, my brother and sister, and I arrived 9 years ago in November,
Right.
and I heard about the Christmas dinner, and I said to my parents and my brothers and sisters, I said, I don't know when I'm going to see you on Christmas Day. And they said, why? You're usually home like 2 o'clock.
Yeah, well,
and I said,
doing
well,
mass
I
over the
said,
river through the woods.
we have a dinner on Christmas Day. A what? A dinner on Christmas Day. And I said, you're my family, but my parish is my family too, and I need to be with them. And so I stay until about 3 in the afternoon, and then either I see them that night, or a lot of times what we've been doing recently is just getting together the next day.
Right.
And I spend time with them. But I get to see my mother on Christmas. I always make a point to spend time with her on Christmas. My brothers and sisters, nephews and nieces, sometimes we do that the next day. But this year, my families are going to be helping in the prep work, not on Christmas Day, but they're going to help with the prep work because they heard about it, me talking about it when I'm coming back, and how much joy I see in the people's faces and for what we do for them. So they know it's an important part of Christmas for me now.
Now, if anybody is watching the show and is inspired to come in and help out,
Yes.
Will it be too late?
Call
No.
the church office and leave their name and number. Actually, we're having an organizational meeting for volunteers on December the 11th at 7 o'clock at the church, so they can call the church and give us their name. We'll contact them as far as the meeting is concerned. Because we actually break the dinner down into like certain phases. Set up, we break it down for serving. We break it down we have a cleanup crew that comes in afterwards. So someone's not spending the whole day there. So if you wanted to come and give 2 hours and you have a block of time, and then we'll put you into that block of time.
Right.
So we have a crew that comes in at 3:30 that actually does a breakdown and clean up at that point. So it's flowed over the years very well. So we've always had plenty of volunteers, but if someone certainly wants to volunteer, we certainly wouldn't discourage that, because many hands make light work. So we're
And
all
since
for it.
our show is so good that it bears repeating and repeating, this show may air after that 11th date. It's still not too late, right?
No.
Absolutely not.
If you showed up on a day, we'd actually
You show up
you'd
on that
actually
day, we'll
find
put you to
something
work at that
Yeah.
point.
to do it.
Absolutely.
So,
Yep.
And so too, if you showed up, if you see the show on Christmas Eve and decide, gee, I'm going to be alone tomorrow, that would be
We'll
a
have
nice
plenty
thing
of
to do.
food.
Yeah,
Sure.
we can always make for if
Absolutely.
last minute.
I bet the people who are volunteer, the people who do the work, feel pretty good about that, don't they? At the
Definitely.
end of the day.
I've asked a lot of them why, and they say, well, a lot of us, we celebrate our big Christmas on Christmas Eve.
Right.
And so we make this a family event.
Right.
Or I come in early and my family's cooking, and it's best if I'm out of the kitchen. One husband told me, so he comes and helps for a little while and then goes back. It's people, and then people who just want to help. A couple years we had some Jewish people who wanted to help us, and we said, well, you're more than welcome to do it. They wanted to do something good for people who celebrate Christmas, and so we said, sure, you're more than welcome to help us. So we had a couple for 2 years that helped us. I'm hoping they'll come back again this year.
It really is the community coming together to do something
Absolutely.
really
Yes.
nice
Yep.
for each other,
Yes.
right? I
Yep,
mean,
that's all
the
it is.
volunteers get to share the time with
Right.
the folks who are there.
And the
folks
volunteers
who-
sit down with the dinner, people eating dinner, so they have fellowship with the volunteers fellowship with the people that are serving dinner, eating dinner. There's no, everybody just kind of blends together. We just keep it very open and very, a very friendly environment.
Well, it's a wonderful event. And you guys should be commended for doing it every year. You make a real difference. Now, but I would be remiss if I didn't talk about something that's very near and dear to my heart, and I know is your life's work in a great way. Not that you don't have many things that you do as part of your life, is the We Feed program. And this is a particularly challenging time, I guess, because the storm has had such an impact on the food pantries, hasn't it?
It has. It's been very challenging, but the people have been forthcoming with food donations. As we spoke earlier with the Bowl for Hunger, we had distributed the money from Bowl for Hunger, which came at a great time for one of the pantries that had lost their turkeys right prior to Thanksgiving. But the people have been extremely generous for the last several weeks as far as monetary donations to We Feed and to the food pantries. But the food pantries are up and running. We're serving well over 600 families per month at our 11 food pantries.
If folks at home are seeing this, there are 11 in Woodbridge.
Yes, there are.
Go ahead. Here you go. Here's the test.
Oh, the 11?
Could you name them?
Sure. St. James.
I know you can.
St.
name
James
them.
in Woodbridge, Heaven's Helpers in Woodbridge, Congregational Church, Women of Faith
Where's
in
that at?
Woodbridge. Congregational Church on Barron Avenue, right next to the Woodbridge Middle School, the Old White Church, Woodbridge Presbyterian, Trinity Episcopal Church, Avenel Presbyterian Church, Island Presbyterian.
That's on Avenel Street, right?
Yes, Island
Okay, just in
Presbyterian.
case people are at home, see it, they'll know where that is.
Absolutely. Island Presbyterian Church up on Oak Tree Road, St. Cecilia's Church up on Oak Tree Road, and Metro Park Assemblies of God, which is down off Green Street in Island. So, and then we have Trinity Episcopal Soup Kitchen every Friday from 11 to 12:30. They serve a hot meal.
Yeah. So, well, it is terrific, and you passed.
But but if people want to donate, I mean, at the holiday times, I mean, if any place that the township is conducting some sort of holiday service, there'll be barrels out that
Yeah.
someone wants to donate.
Yeah,
at
the
that
mayor
point.
has really made this a hallmark of
He's
his
been promoting it very well
administration.
for us. He's been tremendous, actually promoting it for us at that point. So we appreciate everything that to keep it going. We need all the help that we can get at this point.
Yeah, it really is. The food pantries do wonderful, really wonderful work, and they're constantly challenged to meet the need of what is sadly a growing population. Right, they continue to grow. I know, in 3 years, I guess, that I've been
Right.
involved trying to raise some money for them. The number of food pantries not in Woodbridge, but in my district, has increased. Because of the economy, and now Hurricane Sandy's really knocked people for a loop. So
Sure.
if you can, make a food donation, make a monetary donation. If you are free or have any time on Christmas Day or even before, if you want to get involved, you'll feel really good about yourself, and you'll do something really good for your neighbors, right?
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Once again, the parish number, if anybody wants to volunteer, or if anybody wants to come and has a little one that may want to get a little treat from Santa, what would that phone be?
732-634-1403.
Well, it's a great time in Woodbridge Township. Thank you to Peter Barcelona, the chairman of WeFeed, and to Father William Smith, the pastor of St. Anthony of Padua, for coming out and for doing all the good work to make our town a little bit better because of your efforts. Get involved, folks. There's lots of things to do in Woodbridge Township, and this is just one of the real nice things to do. So, thank you all for watching. I wish you a very Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year. For all of us at About the Town, Craig Coughlin saying thanks for watching. We'll see you the next time we go About the Town.